Hey guys, WCU Cougar X coming to you on a typical rainy, off and on rainy Pacific Northwest day. And this is our typical weather we get year round, so it kind of makes it difficult coming out here to work on cars, especially when the area where you're working has a nice little divot in the concrete where it likes to puddle. So anyways, I have the car back a little bit further. Why is my car like this? No, it's not mating season. She's not getting ready to reproduce or anything like that. So with that said, we're going to change out this old exhaust system. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, the exhaust system is still good to go. I don't have any exhaust leaks as of yet. There's no rust spots. The welds are still pretty good, but she's a little rattly. And I know this is a 20-year-old car. Rattles are going to happen, but every time I push on the accelerator pedal, the rattles seem to get louder and louder. Which, in the case of my STI here, I don't have any rattles whatsoever. So I know I should compare the two cars, but I am. So with that said, we're going to replace the cat back system on this particular car. Now, I know there aren't a whole lot of options. I did come across probably about 4 different setups. One of them was the Turbo XS. The other one was the Invidia G200. And another one was something called like a Stromberg or something or other. And there were a few other boutique JDM setups that were, I don't know, north of 800,000 bucks. So as you've seen in my previous video, I don't plan on putting anything too expensive on this car. I didn't want to spend the money that I did on this exhaust system, but I just did it just because I didn't want to have to hassle with, extended hangers and this, that, and the other when purchasing something for like the 03 to 07 STI exhaust setups, which I initially set out to do. I really wanted to get an ETS exhaust system on this car because I just love how the ETS sound, but the price point of a used setup was the same price point as a brand new Invidia setup, so that's what I went with. So as far as the exhaust system on here, has stock headers. It does have a non-catted up pipe now, just because of all the issues of the pre-turbo cats. Mine was in impeccable shape, so she probably would have been just fine with that catted up pipe, but I just took it out anyways, just for insurance. And she still has its stock turbo and a stock catted downpipe. So that's what we're going to do today. I should probably, I'll do a startup video of the regular stock system before I install the new system on here, just so we can get a comparison. I know there's like 1 or 2 videos out there where somebody has done the install on this, so I don't know how detailed I'm going to get with install, but definitely we'll do a comparison between the two exhaust systems. So let's go over and do an unboxing on what we just got literally about 10 minutes ago from FedEx. All right, so here we are. Here's the box we just received. Invidia, made in Taiwan. And let's get over here on the side so you can see what model number we're dealing with. Subaru 04 to 08, 76mm Forester G200 rolled stainless steel tip. Now, it is not my intention to get something that looks like a fart can, and I hope it doesn't sound like a fart can. There aren't any cars locally that I can listen to for comparison. In fact, there are hardly any SG Foresters down here where I live, so I don't think I've ever seen an XT here. So without further ado, my little cameraman is going to hold this, and I'm going to go ahead and do an unboxing. He's going to stand over at the end there, and as you can tell, I don't usually wear gloves, but as you know, if you get your I'll probably clean this up really well, but I just don't want to add any extra oils to the stainless steel system. As you know, when it heats up, your fingerprints are going to be embedded into the exhaust. So again, I'll probably take some isopropyl alcohol and wipe it down prior to installation, but for the time being, let's just go ahead and rip this thing open. And I definitely inspected the box to make sure there weren't any big dents. There were no cause of concern. Really heavy duty box. If I was a kid, I'd definitely want the box to make a little fort out of. All right, so what do we have here? Tape to the box. We got a couple stickers, of which I'm not going to use. Looks like a clamp to mirror the two together, and a nice big gasket ready to go from the to connect the mid pipe to the down pipe. And we'll get to the adapter in just a little bit. All right, so let's get all this stuff out of here. So outward appearance, from what I can see, it looks like a pretty high quality unit. Looks like it's packed very well. Not much padding on the bottom of the box, however, we'll see how well it did as far as any dents or anything like that. Oh, I guess on the bottom it has the little air pocket types, whatever we call those. It's nice they bagged it up. Nice little touch. So we'll get this opened up. Paying particular close attention to these openings to make sure they're not all dented. I don't want to have to, looks like it was hit right here ever so slightly, but hopefully the clearance isn't too close, or it'll not fit in the other way. Oh my gosh, I had no idea how big this sucker was. Okay, I hope this is not like a knuckle dragging type of muffler. Okay, so I don't think so. So the bulk of this is going to be up toward the top of the car, and this is going to be down toward the bottom of the car. So hopefully it's not anywhere near on the ground as far as dragging goes. Closer look at the tip here. Nice wide opening. Yeah, it looks like we're going to have to get some isopropyl. I don't know what that stuff is right there. So anyways, the welds, beautiful. It looks like these could be computer and looks like man-made here. All right, it says Invidia. Going to just that way. Now I do have burnt tips on my STI, and I didn't see that as an option on this guy, and quite frankly, I didn't really care. I have burnt tips just because I bought my exhaust system used, and that's just how she came. So let's put this back on for now. And let's check out the mid pipe to see how she fared. Transport. Yeah, unfortunately, for what I saw from Invidia, there was not a non-muffler version of this. So unlike my STI is just a resonated system. Don't forget it. It does not have mufflers, and albeit she is a little bit loud, so hopefully the addition of both the resonator and the muffler, she's a little bit tamer. However, I do want that nice low audible Subaru rumble, if you will. Well, as you can tell, these gloves aren't really faring too well. All right, so taking a look at this. Again, the welds look okay. However, it's not, the welds don't look like they come together right there. So hopefully that's not an exhaust leak waiting to happen. Looks like we'll be okay. Okay, so it just looks like that's the weld just for this piece here. The exhaust pipe goes through. So hopefully no issues there. Welds look good there. Another big Invidia sticker. Okay. All right, so because I am going with a stock downpipe with no plans of an aftermarket downpipe, you do have to get an adapter. I was going to get the, oh gosh, what's the name of that company that I got for the STI? I don't remember. But there's a number, gosh, there's like 6 to 8 different setups which are the same thing. I just went with the Turbo XS just because it was inherently more, it was cheaper. And there's no price on that, but this is what I went with. Okay. So there's your adapter, supplied bolts, and there's your gasket. It's like a multi-layer steel gasket. Oh, that's beautiful. Nice. Good job, Turbo XS. All right, so what I'll do is the next video, I will get the old exhaust system off and I'll put it on the dry weight and we'll compare it with the new system. Okay, so here we have the exhaust system all laid out. Just gonna do a walk down here. Okay, so highly recommend that prior to installing this, that you make sure that these two halves go together. I had to use my little rubber mallet here to kind of bend one of these ears back in order to get it in there, because you definitely don't want to be wrestling with that underneath the car. All right, let's look at the tailpipe here. So we're going essentially from a 3.5 inch to a 4 inch. All right, let's continue on. Okay, so with regards to removing your old system, do make sure you have a couple of different sizes of screwdriver and definitely some WD-40 to spray in there to kind of loosen up the hangers. I'm not going to change out my hangers. I'm just going to try to rock with the ones that came with the car. They seem to be okay, but this so far has been the tool that gets them off. You can just easily pry them. I know a lot of guys have issues getting the old hangers off the exhaust system, but if you use something like this, it's about 1 foot long, you'll have no issues whatsoever. But like I said, spray it down with WD-40 so it can slip off the little bulb on the end. Okay, so it literally took me less than 5 minutes to pop off that hanger, that hanger, that hanger. It probably took me about 2 minutes using the WD-40 and long screwdriver. I left this one on just so when I remove the 2 bolts at the downpipe, between the downpipe and the mid pipe, it doesn't just drop to the ground. So yeah, so less stress on the downpipe. All right, we'll get to that next. Well, I'm glad I didn't get too far. I forgot to do the before video putting the Invidia system on. So here's the stock system, cold start. I'll start it up, let her idle for a little bit, and then kind of rev her up a little bit. All right, next. All right, so I just dropped the OEM exhaust. So right now we just have the downpipe with the cat on it. Let's just see what this sounds like. awesome. And we have a brief intermission in this install, as Washington State in all her wonderful glory is watering the trees and grasses and getting my cardboard all nice and wet. To be continued. All right, and here's the donut gasket part number I'm using. Again, this goes onto the factory downpipe. And then the adapter that I bought goes up against this. As you can tell, it is kind of wedged shape, if you will. So the smaller diameter side toward the back of the vehicle. Okay, and again, I want to preface, you want to definitely wipe down your stainless steel system with isopropyl alcohol, or those fingerprints of when you're handling it will be burned into the side of the exhaust here. Unless that doesn't really bother you too much, you can just leave it as is. But once I'm going to wipe it down first, put my gloves on, get underneath the car. I'm going to install this mid pipe first, just so I'm not dragging that on the ground, and I don't want to get it all scratched up, even though, you know, rallying crossing, it might scratch it up a little bit. So, but I'm going to prevent it as much as possible. So wipe it down first with isopropyl alcohol, install it, and then wipe it down again. All right, so I got the mid pipe down on the ground here. Got my donut installed on my factory downpipe. So I've got my adapter ready to go. So because I'm a one-man operation, what I'm going to go ahead and do is just put this exhaust hanger in right here, so I can pay attention to what I'm doing down here. So I'll get that installed. I'll loosely put these bolts on. Then I'll put that exhaust bracket, or the exhaust, I don't know what the joiner or whatever you call it, right here, loosely. Then I'll go and get the axle back portion, get that installed, and just keep all the bolts nice and loose. Don't tighten anything until you got everything all mocked up and ready to go. All right. Okay, so I got everything all mocked up. All the hanger brackets fit into the exhaust hangers, no problem. No need for extended cartboy exhaust hangers whatsoever. So if you have a regular OEM system still, yeah, you can maintain your original exhaust hangers that was provided by Subaru. And we'll do a startup here in a little bit. I just need to tighten up that clamp right there. Okay guys, just got it fully installed. Just tightened up down my clamps, my bolts. So ready to do the first startup here. And then once we do the startup, it's always a good idea to get underneath the car to check for any exhaust leaks. So since you already have it up on the ramps, it'll give you ample time to really check things out and tighten things up as needed. So, all right, without further ado, let's start her up. Quieter than I thought she was going to be. Oh well. Maybe, I don't know if the exhaust system has break-in period, but I don't know. Alright. I guess that will conclude this. Alright, WCU Cougar X out. Alright, so side-by-side comparison between the stock OEM system just idle. Okay, then we'll do the Invidia system next.